Welcome to the Florence Foodies Podcast, a place for the community to gather and share the stories, voices, and experiences that make Florence feel like home. To support this podcast and the Florence Foodies platform as a whole, click the Support This Podcast link found in the description.
So I guess that really, with that said, the best way to start off is for those that don't know, can you just tell a little bit about your business and what y'all do?
I own Lambs on Second Loop Road. We start off in the spring every year, usually around March 10th or 12th, when we could get some vine-ripe tomatoes out of Florida. Do produce through Thanksgiving. Start off with spring flowers in the spring. Go to produce through the summer with fresh shelled butter beans, boiled peanuts, different stuff. Fall of the year, we get locally grown mums in, get pumpkins out of Pennsylvania, and then the end of last season of us is fresh grown Christmas trees from West Jefferson, North Carolina, and we make fresh wreaths. Then we shut down for the winter. It's hard to get good produce in the wintertime, and if I don't want to carry it home to my family for us to eat it, I feel funny trying to stay open and sell it to other people.
How long does it take to grow a Christmas tree?
Christmas trees grow around a foot a year. So, an 8-foot tree is about 8 years old.
You ever seen that movie, Deck the Halls?
Yeah.
With Danny DeVito?
Mm-hmm.
He said they've been growing the trees for 15 years and then he burned them all to the ground. We watched that a couple nights ago. So I don't want to get ahead of myself because I do want to talk a little bit about Christmas time, but kind of what's kind of backstory that motivated y'all to do this, get this business started? And
Well, my daddy actually was the first person to run a stall out at the farmer's market when the PD State Farmers Market opened in Florence. So, my grandfather, he piddled around with produce, and then my daddy was real big in produce, so it's kind of just in our blood. Me and my brother just took it and took what he had taught us, and we just kind of added to it and kept going.
how long did you say y'all been open? Did you say that?
No, I didn't. There on that lot with produce, we've been doing it maybe around 15 years now. But as far as Christmas trees and other seasonal stuff, we've been on that lot at Second Loop 32, 33 years.
So what about I didn't want to talk about Christmas trees because obviously you see I got my Christmas tree on today, matter of fact. This is one of my favorite Christmas trees. It's the Little Debbie Christmas tree.
Amen.
Y'all don't sell those. But I guess y'all have a certain day that y'all set up, but what's the activity that you see like as far as the timing that people buy their trees? Is it a mad rush when y'all first get them out, or is it kind of even throughout?
It's kind of even throughout. It's really changed through the years. We used to sell trees right on up to Christmas Eve because 25 years ago, people kept the trees up through the middle of January or to even the end of January. Some of our customers, but through the years, it's changed. Like a lot of things, it seems to get earlier and earlier. Last 8 or 10 years, we start getting our first load of trees in around the middle of November, and we have a lot of people that's really anxious. They start calling. We'll have mums and pumpkins a couple days before Halloween, and they call and wanting to know when we're gonna get our first shipment of trees in.
Yeah, we were there, Dave. I think we were there the first day that y'all put them out, and I think there's a reason for that. I'm always trying to dissect and figure things out, and I think that I'm gonna get a little deep, but not too deep, real quick. But I feel like it's a challenging world we live in. It's just there's a lot of people that are stressed out about a lot of things. I'd say it that way. A lot of people put under a lot of pressure from a lot of different directions, and I think for a lot of us, at least in America, I can't speak for other places, but Christmas is special times, no matter what. It's what your background is for a lot of people. I think we're just trying to prolong it. So, because this is the earliest that we ever put the decorations up. Like I said, we got the tree first day. And that's definitely the reason for us. It's just, not so much that we're running around stressed out, but it's still same concept. We want to prolong. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It is.
And we like to prolong it and make the most out of it, especially when you got kids. So I think that's why it does seem like people increasingly, but it could just be social media. I could be wrong. Maybe people were always doing this. That's why I asked the question, but it does seem like people want to get to it quicker.
No, it's definitely changed over the last 10 or 12 years. And like this year, you had so much inflation and everything costing more. I believe people stressed out all year, like you say, and they just want to concentrate on Christmas. If they get their decorations up when they walk in their door, they can get that everyday life and that everyday stress off their mind, and they start thinking about that wonderful time of the year.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that's why people do it sooner and sooner, especially years like this when it's a rougher year financially.
And if you time it right, then by the time January the first rolls around, you're sick of it. You're
Yeah,
ready to move on.
you're
So
ready for
you
a
really
new
can
year.
maximize it. What about so obviously, the concept of this podcast was really to be community centric. That was the vision behind it, and I feel like that's what's been happening. People come up to me, and so I feel like we're hitting that target slowly but surely. What is, because we were talking off camera just now, so you're from Coward, which that's a lot of my roots on my dad's side of the family, like I told you, run through Coward and Lake City area. But it's Florence County. What has been, what would you, and you even told me before we did this, that was on your heart, you wanted to share it. So I'm kind of opening that up now. What's been y'all's relationship with the community, maybe as a business and then even beyond that?
Oh, it's just amazing how the community has supported our business, and I mean, it's unreal. It's very humbling. They come up and they shop with us, frequently shopping, and not only that, but they thank us for what we do in the community, and that's amazing. It's very humbling that God has allowed us to make a good living, but yet we can touch other people's lives and make a difference in the community.
And I know the emphasis on local goods, local produce has, I think, also increased over the years. I guess some things probably ebb and flow because there was a point in time where pretty much everything was local for people to, even in generations that are with us now. But just the commercialization of the food industry, food and beverage industry, and everything that's going on with that. But now with the advent of social media and everybody's got an opinion, everybody's a doctor, everybody's a scientist. My wife's gonna appreciate that comment because that's an inside thing. She knows. But people prioritize something they can trust, the source that they at least somewhat know where it came from, can at least have something to feel kind of confident about. So I mean, I'm sure that y'all have seen that, be a benefit to what y'all do.
There's so many products that's got GMOs, genetically modified, in it, and we hear all the time that they love shopping with us because they know we eat what we sell, and if I'll feed it to my family, they feel safe feeding it to their family, because it's hard to know what you're getting anymore if you're not shopping with somebody that you know and have faith in. Genetically modified stuff is a lot of your big commercial farmers. They have went to whatever's the most profitable, but you have a lot of farmers that will not touch it because it's not necessarily good for you, and we stick with the farmers that doesn't use GMOs, just like our jarred goods, for example. We get them from the Dutch kettle. It's Amish people out of North Carolina. They, over the last 3 or 4 years, they've changed their label and made it a point to put non-GMO on it because there's so much worry in the world about what you're putting in your body and what's healthy anymore the last few years. So it's really shifted over the last few years, people being more aware of what they're eating and wanting to be more healthy.
So with you being in the Lake City area, and we also kind of touched on this off camera just now, but I'll open it up a little bit more. Slabs is one of our favorite places, and I guess people that have kind of come along as this has grown wouldn't know, but Slabs is really probably about how this got started, at least this element of what we're doing. And the reason is because I'll tell a little backstory real quick, but when I got the good old, and it ain't good nothing good about it. When I got the COVID-19, when I got the virus, I was actually down for about 3 weeks. It was rough. It kind of surprised me because I mean I'm one of those people that I really, thankfully, by the grace and mercy of God, have not really had a lot of sickness in my life.
Right.
And I've acknowledged that over the years, perhaps even to a fault, maybe like it just kind of taken that for granted. And yeah, I was not expecting that, but I mean, I got hit harder than pretty much anybody around me on COVID. So I was down. When I say down, I mean I was in a bed for 3 weeks with my body aching. I mean, it was hard to even get up and go to the bathroom. Like it's very, weird experience. And I didn't eat for 3 weeks, but I still had an appetite mentally, just not physically. So that was actually, and that would have been 2021. That was actually whenever I got introduced to food content on on YouTube particularly, but on social media. I say, well, I used to watch diners, drive-ins, and dives on Food Network. I used to watch Food Network stuff like Chopped was one of my favorite shows, and there's Cutthroat Kitchen. Matter of fact, I don't know if you remember that with Alton.
I don't remember that one.
Smith, Alton something. Anyways, Cutthroat Kitchen was a hilarious show. They take anyways, so you go look it up. It was a hilarious show. You can find it on Hulu or something like that. Go back and watch it. But so I did have that background too, and I mean I like to cook and I obviously like to eat. But the content creators going out and making content with food, that was in that time period I found it because I couldn't eat. And Mark Weens was actually the first person that I found. Now, so I just started binge watching all of his stuff. Well, fast forward the clock, and when we got into the business that we got into and just trying to figure ways to, because, coming into real estate and, starting a business, I mean, things don't usually, some people are fortunate enough because their circumstances that they just jump right in and they hit the ground running. For most people, you got to build some business, you got to get the kind of ball rolling. So when I left my 9 to 5 and got into that business full time, the downside was I didn't really have any money coming in consistently, but the positive side was I had a lot more free time. So I could start to kind of be creative and figure out ways to do things. And, I kind of knew how to do some of this stuff, and I've definitely, hopefully been learning and improving as we've gone along, but I had somewhat of a foundation. And so I was like, I said to my wife, why don't we just make some content and it'd really be a win-win. Hopefully we could be a blessing to some people, give them some exposure. And then, that'll help us kind of, at the bare minimum, do something that'll be fun.
Right.
And it has been that. But Barbara Fenters was the first person that I reached out to because as a matter of fact, I think it was Lewis Hills. He's been on this podcast a couple times. I think he's the one that told me about slabs. Because I don't go out to Lake City a whole lot unless I'm working, especially maybe now more than even then. I think it was Lewis. But anyways, so we went years ago, and I thought it was excellent. And so just on a whim, I reached out to her on Instagram. I sent her a message and said, hey, would y'all be interested in us shooting some content? And it won't cost you nothing, and hopefully it'll be done well and, get some exposure to your business. I think y'all deserve it. And she obliged, and we went out and we filmed that video, and that was the first one, and it did really well. Still the most viewed video on the YouTube channel currently, I think. And that kind of got the ball rolling because then I had something I could show, and people kind of saw it and saw what we were doing, and they reached out, and so it kind of opened that door. So, anyways, I say that to say that Slabs is a favorite place of ours out there in Lake City. We talk about Florence foodies, and a lot of times I think the focus is the city of Florence. People don't realize that Florence County has a whole lot of places,
they do,
tucked away, and that's definitely one of them. Lake City has a handful of places to eat. Piggybacks is another one, I would say.
Piggybacks and Slabs, both of them's got good flavor.
Yeah,
really, really good places to check out.
Mm-hmm. What about just historically? What's some places y'all like to go to out there?
Probably one of my favorite restaurants is right here in the city of Florence, Woodstone. They got a real good selection on the bar. Don't really matter what mood you're in, you can find something on their bar that you can enjoy. So it's probably near the top of my list.
Yeah.
But now I've always said I ain't got but 3 hobbies: work, church, and eating. So I mean I could go on all day with places I love to eat.
So if eating's one of them top 3 hobbies, and it's definitely one of mine too, obviously, I would assume you got all the ingredients, no pun intended. You selling produce, you like to eat, so I would assume that you like to cook.
Yeah, I enjoy cooking.
What do you excel at in the kitchen?
With men's fellowship at the church, usually I'll cook a chicken bog or either a low country boil. I mean, those are probably 2 of my favorites. They tell me I cook a pretty mean steak. I don't like to brag on myself. I enjoy it, but I mean, I pretty much like cooking anything. As long as the people smiling when they eat it and they enjoy it, it makes it enjoyable. Anybody that loves to cook, the main thing when you're cooking, you just want to think about the people that's going to eat it and enjoying
Right.
it. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Did you make a turkey at Thanksgiving?
No, no, I skipped the turkey.
Nobody made a turkey? Y'all
Well,
didn't have
we
turkey?
had turkey,
Okay.
but
You just didn't make
I'm
it.
big on ham and roast.
Yeah.
I reckon I'm one of the few people that I skip the turkey because I just go straight to the ham or the roast.
No, I see that a lot because I'll read. I'm a comment reader. I like to read comments, and that's like the last couple of years. That's a growing thing that I keep seeing. People say the turkey's overrated. I don't. We don't do the turkey, so there's just different things that people are doing at Thanksgiving. It's crazy to me. I'm like, but I think what might be happening is folks are drying that turkey out, and that's why they don't want to
Right.
eat it.
It's not juicy and moist,
And so
right?
I learned. I told my wife this year. I've tried this. I think about 3 years in a row, and this was the year that I'm finally. It's the opposite of three strikes you're out. This is three hits and you're in. Because I said you have to brine the bird. If you don't brine the bird, it's like leaving money on the table. It makes no sense, and it's really not that hard. And I mentioned that because A, we just had Thanksgiving, but B, you talked about the low country boil. So this year, um, just looking at ideas, and I don't even remember where I saw it, but somebody said that when you make your brine for the bird, put the seafood boil in there. So I just got Zataran's
Right.
seafood boil, and it's nothing special on that, but I picked that up, added it to the brine, boiled it up, of course, released all those oils and all that, and cooled it off, put the bird in the bucket, and dumped it in there. And I thought that was, because people would hear that and probably think, tastes like a seafood boiled turkey, but it really doesn't.
Right. Just flavors it.
Just add, because by the time you take it out and then you're going to rinse it off, it's not, but it permeates that meat and it just adds I don't know, it just adds a little twang to
Got a
it,
little kick.
Yeah. And so it was really good. So I said, I think I'm going to keep doing that. That's a little secret. But anyways, it's a little idea. Seafood boil in the brine for the bird. Seafood boil brine, bird brine.
You're making me hungry.
Well, so before we get to our last segment and wrap it up, I just circle back and touch a couple of points. It is funny because I guess there's a name for it. I forgot what they call it, where you think something happened that didn't happen. What's that called? The Mandela effect? Is that what that is? Yeah, you say 15 years, and I mean I'm a little bit older than 15, and gosh, in my mind, I feel like y'all have been on second loop forever for my whole life. That's just how it feels. But obviously, that's not the case. But
Well,
y'all,
we've been on there probably 33 years at that lot. We've had produce and been open March through December for 15 years. But we've been selling Christmas trees. When we started selling Christmas trees on that lot, First Reliance Bank wasn't built. The shopping center across the street wasn't built. I mean, all that was built after we started selling Christmas trees on that lot.
okay,
So
that's why.
it's
Then.
been a long time.
All right, well then you have been there almost my whole life.
It's
Then I was thinking,
probably
I was like, man,
33,
15 years.
34
I thought
years.
yeah. All right. Well, good. So, and the Christmas tree business has always been good, I would imagine.
It's been good. We've had a lot of support. Lord, we've got customers that come up and buy the trees. I've got adults in their 20s and 30s with kids now buying trees that used to come with their parents
Yeah.
to buy trees. So when you start going through generations, it's really humbling, and they come up and they say, I want to share this experience with my kids like my parents did with me. It's really humbling that you can be a part of people's Christmas traditions like that.
That's what it's all about.
It
Too.
is.
That's special. And y'all make the wreaths right there on
We do.
in house.
Make them fresh daily.
Yeah. But y'all have sold out everything now. Y'all done
Yeah,
now.
yeah, we wrapped it up maybe about an hour ago.
Well, I hope y'all got your tree and your wreath then.
We
If you didn't, you're behind schedule. It's today, the 9th, December 9th.
December 9th.
Yeah. So I've got to ask you to wrap it up. This is our Florence Foodie's favorite Florence food item segment. This is presented by Drayton Realty Group. And you mentioned Woodstone earlier, but what we need to know is what is your favorite item? Can you name a favorite item in Florence County. It can be anywhere in the county. It doesn't have to be in the city of Florence.
Probably my favorite item is my own chicken and rice that I cook. That's probably if I had to pick one item, and a lot of restaurants that I love their chicken and rice, but chicken and rice is probably my go-to. That is the one thing that sticks out. My family picks at me. They tell me I could eat chicken and rice every day, but that's probably my favorite.
You put sausage in yours?
Yeah, the Hillshire smoked
You
sausage.
put eggs in it?
No, I do boneless thighs where it gets the flavor in the juice, and mix the yellow rice and the white rice and slice up Hillshire smoked sausage. Sometimes I get the little smokies and mix them in there too to change it up sometimes.
I was thinking my grandma would put eggs in her chicken bog and like boiled egg,
Hmm.
And I found out, I always thought that was normal, but I found a lot of people that not many people do that actually.
Right.
And then I actually kind of did a little spin off of what she does. I'll take a couple eggs and scramble them up. And when you finishing it up, just mix it in there, and I like it.
That'd
But that's
be
probably
good.
just because I grew up eating it like that. But all right, well so just, and if Woodstone is the answer, that's fine. But what about something you like that people could? I'm gonna tell you why, because I know that sometimes people don't know why do they do that. There's actually a reason for it, and at least this is my philosophy. This is the world according to Sammy. This is what I think. If people come on, and I know this works. We see it in the Facebook group. This is an opportunity to hear directly from somebody. A lot of times you give somebody an idea. So a business has an item that's on their menu, and you like it a lot, but a lot of people don't even know about it, and they don't know what they don't know. So when you say it, they're like, "Dang, that does sound good. I might go check that out," and it gets people out there and gets them involved, and so that's kind of the idea behind the favorite food item. So unless we can all come to your house and get a plate of chicken bog, if we can, let us know when to be there. But otherwise, what do you got something when y'all go out that you like?
When I go out, Woodstone. I mean, I love their fried shrimp. I love their fried chicken, their chicken and rice. Tubbs jumped out in my mind when you said that. I love Tubbs grilled shrimp. I mean, and I get corn on the cob. I just they have good corn on the cob. They season it, and it's got a little different kick to it, like you were talking about a minute ago. They don't just put butter and salt. It's got
Yeah.
other seasonings on it. But probably their grilled shrimp and their corn on the cob. It's just really good.
Shrimp man.
Yeah.
All right. Good answers. I appreciate that. All right. Well, I guess we can't talk Christmas at this point by asking if y'all finished all your Christmas shopping.
No, we've been at the tree lot 7 days a week, so we got a lot of catching up to do in the next few days.
Well, I'm about to go try to finish mine up about this afternoon, so that's my next stop. But definitely appreciate y'all's presence in the community. And I was right. Y'all have pretty much been around my entire life, so that's a staple. So love seeing lambs out there on Second Loop. And if you've never been, then now you know where they're at and what they do. So make sure y'all go check them out. You missed the Christmas tree. You won't get one this year, but there's some other ones floating around. But if you want to get one from what part of North Carolina is it?
West Jefferson.
West Jefferson, North Carolina. Then next year, usually y'all had those out. That was right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, generally we get 3 loads in every year. Generally the first load comes somewhere between the 14th and 17th, and then about every 4 or 5 days we'll get another load in. That way all of them's not cut at the same time.
Yeah. So you got to wait till next November now, but now you'll know where to go. So appreciate y'all. Appreciate you taking the time to stop by and do this.
Thank you very much, Sam. Appreciate you having me.
Yep, absolutely. And as always, appreciate y'all. And God willing, we'll see you on the next one.